Okay, so Voidmine, Lusamine, Nihilego's Lusamine, a lot of names that we can give to this Pokemon over here. Let's take a look at the skill translations of this Pokemon and see if he's good enough or not. Just as a reminder, this Pokemon will be available on the next update, so we are just basically taking a look in order to know what to expect of when the next update comes. So, as usual, I already have done some translations over here. I was honestly lazy to write everything down myself, so I just used like an online translator. But let me start with the passive of this Pokemon. So, it's a very interesting Pokemon. He's a rock type and poison type, and at the same time, he has dragon type attacks and also makes dark type Pokemon move. Like it has somewhere over here, it increases slightly action of overnight. Yeah, this one is a dark type Pokemon. So it's all over the place, honestly. So in battle, increases your own HP by 10%, and at the start of each round it will apply some kind of a debuff to a random enemy, and each time that random enemy moves, a random Pokemon from the enemy team will lose 20% of his max HP. Not gonna lie, it kinda sounds weird in a way. So for example, you are playing against a 3v3, and if the third Pokemon gets this debuff and he moves, a random Pokemon of one of the enemy 3 Pokemons will just lose 20% of the max HP. It stacks up to 2 times, but I'm not sure how useful this can be really. And then it says that there's a 50% chance of causing this same effect, okay, it has different names over here on the translations, but it's this same effect to a random enemy after a dark type Pokemon moves. Like what? So that's what I was saying. He's like this Pokemon is rock type, is poison type, has interactions with the dark type, and then it has dragon attacks as well. This Pokemon is really all over the place for some reason. But now it says when this betrayal is triggered, so when this buff is triggered, it increases the slightly action of points to the Pokemon of dark type and recovers 10% of the fury. Now, what I'm thinking is, does this mean that there's a small chance that when the enemy that has this, this betrayal effect, so when an enemy that has this betrayal effect, if he moves, it has a small action, like a small chance of giving action points to your dark type Pokemon? Could be interesting. I could see some Primal Dialga experiments coming from over here, maybe. And then, since this Pokemon loves Dark type so much, over here it says that all of your Pokemons that are Dark type in battle will get 20% speed of the total of all of your Pokemons that are Dark type except yourself. Was this confusing? Yes, I know. I know it is confusing, but what I'm assuming, imagine that you are playing with a Hoopa, and then you have this girl over here, and oh, whoopsie, so there's a Hoopa, there's this girl over here, and then, I don't know, let's imagine that you have a Zoroark. Now, let me just draw some tentacles over here so that you guys know which Pokemon is this. So what I'm assuming is that because of the passive, because of this passive over here, Hoopa will get 20% extra speed from Zoroark's total speed. But then it says except for itself, so Hoopa does not get 20% of his own speed? Question mark? It's a really confusing passive, and we have to wait for this thing to come out to test it out, because if it works like that, it seems pointless, to be honest. Especially in the English version where you have your main attacker with a lot of speed. What is the point of getting just a little bit extra speed from the other Pokemon that should not have as much? I mean, early game, don't get me wrong, like when I say early game, like those powers when you don't have like more than 10,000 strikes, you get a lot of speed with gears, Cinnabar gears and stuff. So this can be nice, but other than that, Okay, let's go into our first attack. So we have the Trust over here. So it causes special attack. Dragon type reduces the damage of itself and the damage of the target. So basically you are sacrificing your own damage, but also making the enemy useless by reducing their damage by 90% for 1 round. And then you increase the damage that the target receives by 50% for 2 rounds, increasing the fury of all of your allied Pokemon by 40%. But if you use the Z skill of this, you are making all of your allied Pokemon move again, which is freaking awesome. So basically the skill acts like a support. So like from what I'm feeling, all of those buffs that this Pokemon provides so far, everything just seems to say that this Pokemon is meant to be played as a support and not as an attacker. Skill number 2, Echoing Voice, and this one has its own like buffs and whatever. Dude, I really miss the simple skills. Like, it seems like every single skill that we have nowadays, I mean, it's good. Usually it means that the Pokemon is good, but when the Pokemon is bad, then you are basically reading a book. Come on. Anyways, this is a group non-type skill, so I forgot to mention that the previous one was single and 90 skill power. This is a group and 60 skill power. It's a non-type skill, also has his own like effect, which is a echo voice or voice echoed, whatever. And this echo voice will apply some kind of a layer as well to the enemy, and for each layer it will increase the damage of the Trick Room and the echo voice by 50%. So this is a stackable amplifying damage source. The Trick Room is a skill that we will see in a bit. The good thing here is like you can stack up to 8 times, which is kind of interesting, because if you have 8 times, this means like 400% more damage. But honestly, if it's only to this Pokemon, yeah. And the only difference on the Z skill that I see that is important is like before he moves, he already applies 1 echo voice layer, 1 echo voice stack. So I mean, not the biggest thing. Let's go to the Poison Blow, finally a short description. It's just a special attack of poison type special attack. So we already have a dragon, a non-type, and a poison type. And then it says that increases the action points of all dark type Pokemon if this skill crits. And if you are not brave enough to try to do this without a crit, you can just do the Z skill, because this one does not need a crit at all. Honestly, it has like way less skill power. This might be a typo, I would assume. But then again, if we go and look at the first skill, it also has this big difference. It's like 90 skill power on the normal skill, and then if you want to do the Z skill, 45 skill power. And on the Echo Voice over here is, well, it's a little bit different, because I was saying the only difference would be like having an extra layer of Echo Voice when you use a Z1, but then actually you have an increase in skill power, which can actually be very nice. Let's go to the ultimate over here. So we have a Trick Room, which is a poison type group, skill power of 130, and the Z1 has 160. And honestly, at this point is when I start to think that this Pokemon is supposed to buff poison types and work with poison types and not dark types, because of course it doesn't make sense in the first place that the Pokemon that is a rock and poison type also benefits from dark type and has dragon type attacks. But not just that, all the skill descriptions that we have, like for example this one over here, Z Poison Blow, increases the action of all dark type Pokemon except yourself. Why would it say except yourself if you are not even dark type in the first place? Doesn't make any sense. And the same thing happens over here with the Trick Room. So this Trick Room, this ultimate, it will increase all the action points of all the dark type Pokemon, and then it says except yourself. Like, why? And then over here it says that increases your dark type Pokemon damage by 100% according to the layers of the voice effect, or in other words, the echoing voice, okay? It's kind of interesting. Basically, like, this whole text is just explaining the echo voice once again, and then saying that it can hit the, like, with the skill, it can hit the Pokemons anywhere they are. And basically, if we look at the Trick Room Z over here, it says that you can move again after after using it. And all of these descriptions are very a mess, because this is not just the translation itself. If we go to the original, everything just has the same thing. When I'm saying that it's a mess, is because greatly increases the action points of the other dark type Pokemon except himself, right? Then it says like, you can move again after using the skill. Like, what, It's very weird descriptions, but that seems to be the only benefit of the Z version over here. So, could this Pokemon become good or not in the English version? Honestly, I feel like it still needs a couple of updates, because it's kind of weird that it buffs dark type Pokemon. We will see if that's a typo from the Chinese version, because when this was released on the Chinese version, it was already saying in the descriptions that it buffs dark types, but it makes no sense, because if this is a poison type buffer, I'm imagining this Pokemon over here being a poison type buffer together. Let me just go to the poison types over here. So, together with the Nihilego itself, if this Pokemon gets an Overlord as a weather poison type buffer, and then pairing with this Pokemon in the future. That's one of the things that I would be expecting for like 6.4 to come out, which is Eternatus. Eternatus is a Pokemon that is from Sword and Shield, from the games of Sword and Shield, so I would be expecting this Pokemon to come soon in the future updates. Now, there's no leaks or anything about it, but imagining this Pokemon over here in game would actually be very sick. He's a poison dragon type Pokemon. It will just fit perfectly with an Overlord Nihilego if it comes in the future, and also this one over here. Now, if you are not on the Discord, feel free to join. The link is in the description, and if you guys have anything else to ask me, just feel free to join. I spend the whole day over there. I don't do anything else really. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Press start.